Hello guys, and welcome back for a new video. Today we're going to take a look at some creatures. So I was inspired by Jeff at Skunkworks and Adam over at the G.I. Joe Lost Chronicles. They did a showcase on some of their creatures or monsters, just things that are typically used to fill out the ranks of the adventure team enemies. So I figured I'd just do a little bit of a showcase on what I have. Certainly not as much as they do, but I did recently in the back pick up something new to add to this collection. I thought was very fitting. So let's just go ahead and take a look and see what we got. I did pick up off Amazon a bunch of these. I guess they're Halloween decorations, spiders, and they're pretty much in scale, maybe slightly large, but there's quite a variety of these guys that come in a pack. I think they were maybe $5, but you got quite a selection. They are a lot of them different, one to another, as you can kind of see here. Each one is unique. Got a couple of crates that I 3D printed for them as well, the live animals crates. So that, something cool for the adventure team to deal with or capture. Made a couple of different crates like that. So that's a neat little thing. You don't see spiders too much, but Halloween decorations work pretty well. You can find that kind of stuff at Michael's and such during the season. But yep, so we got spiders. Snakes is also a big staple. I've got a bunch of them. And I'm bringing all of them out, but just a couple. These guys I picked up at Walmart. These are the large snakes. So you can use things like that for the adventure team. Adventure team always deals with snakes. So I picked up a couple of these guys. I did pick up a pretty cool one. I think this was from Hobby Lobby. This is one of the more higher quality snakes. Obviously a rattlesnake. In the biting position, I've used this for photos on my Facebook page and the adventure team. Pretty good detail on these guys. This is like the Safari Limited kind of stuff. But that's it for snakes. Obviously, you know, G.I. Joe already made its own enemies. This is the shark from one of the 1970s sets, the Spy Shark set, or not really 100% sure which one this one came with. If I'm being honest, I just don't remember offhand. But of course, you know, shark for the Sea Adventure. Do got a couple other things. I did pick this up off of eBay. This is an octopus. I've used this in a photo story as well. Not really so much a photo story, but just photos that I post on Facebook. Thought that would go really well with the Sea Adventure as well. It's got like a squishy feel to it. Moderate detail. Interesting. I mean, octopuses are very squishy. You know, the only thing hard on them is their beak. But I thought that was cool, and it's kind of like got that rubbery texture. Certainly wrapped that around a G.I. Joe's leg. So, octopus. 3D printed a black bear. Did this one a couple of years ago, maybe about a year and a half ago. Did some photo pictures with this. G.I. Joe encountering a black bear. So it's nice to have the 3D printer, and I just usually just play with the scale on the items to make them as large as I can print them. Showing you like the size of this guy compared to a Joe. It is about the size of an average black bear, so it's not tremendous. I did always want to have like a grizzly bear for my Joes, but really not available. But definitely an imposing animal for G.I. Joe to deal with. So that's the black bear. Going along with the other 3D printed stuff. These are some of my favorites, the aliens, and printed them in this really cool green color. I never really painted them up, but they look pretty cool. Paul Knapp showcased these guys on his YouTube channel. He wanted gray ones, but these are the greens. Pretty cool. We got a sitting one and a standing. And again, I'll bring G.I. Joe in for scale. I tried to scale them in fairly accurately with G.I. Joe, and I think that works pretty well. Also looking at scale, you can see Bigfoot back there in the back. That's the Kenner $6 million man, 15 foot tall Bigfoot. So definitely a cool thing. I always wanted a Bigfoot for my Joes to deal with. Never did get the set that the Collector Series put out. Bigfoot. They also had the Yeti one. I never got either one of those. I do like them, but I don't love them. I think they're too short. They're basically about the same height. Certainly more massive than Joe, but this, I think, really fits more the bill of Bigfoot in scale with G.I. Joe. Really just massive, tall. He looks like he's like 8 foot tall compared to Joe, who would be just under 6 foot, I would imagine. But, yeah, that's Bigfoot. It's a very hard piece to get. I got this guy pretty busted up, and I did a lot of repair work on him. So that's not a practical thing. I wish we did have a really good option. I know Jeff makes his own, which are awesome. But I've got some plans. I might be making something a little unique in that regard. And I've also got a American alligator. I think this is from the Imperial. Got this off eBay a while ago. I did have one of these years ago, but I lost it. But this guy is also pretty good scale for G.I. Joe. The G.I. Joe did release some. They were pretty small. So this guy is a lot more imposing. You could see the scale of him compared to Joe. That's a pretty good size alligator. So there's that. And then finally we'll conclude with the mummy in the back. Okay, and finally here we have the mummy. I thought this was a really well-suited figure for the adventure team. I think it ties right in with sets like Secret of the Mummy's Tomb and all of that. And of course, in that old 70s set, you got a real small sarcophagus and a little tiny mummy, which is kind of like at a scale. So this is a full 12-inch scale mummy. And the funny thing is, I was watching the Peter Pan G.I. Joe Adventure Team and the Secret of the Mummy's Tomb, and the name used in that is nearly identical to the name used in the original Mummy movie, I'm Hotep. So I don't know if that's coincidence or not, but obviously if you watch that, he was a phony, where this is the real deal. So like I said, I felt that this played in really well with the adventure team. As for scale, here is G.I. Joe next to the mummy. Do got the mummy on a stand right now, so it's making him slightly taller, but you can see that is a really good scale. This was made by Hasbro. That's on the Hall of Fame body from the G.I. Joe Real American Hero line. Those of you familiar with that. Very chunky, muscular, not well articulated body. And getting this figure, so it's a monster figure, so I wasn't looking for a ton of articulation, but it's always nice to get some. But with the wrappings on this guy, the articulation that was there is almost not there at all. So his arms really does not want to go forward too far. The head, of course, can look left and right. The legs don't want to move too much either. A lot of resistance, and I don't want to mess up the bandages. They do have an inner skeleton in these bodies, so with that, you know, you can adjust the knees, and also the elbows are posable as well. There's also a swivel point here, but it doesn't work so well with all of these bandages. So, as I was saying, the articulation is a bit hindered with that figure, but nonetheless, it's a monster figure, and it serves its purpose really well as being an enemy for the adventure team. So that was a quick look at some of the stuff that I got in my collection. Thanks for the inspiration out to the Axis of Awesome, and any of you other guys that got some cool stuff in your collection, feel free to do a little showcase as well. Alright guys, well, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.